Well, we got the first 2 blocks of our Boo Crew done and it's so exciting. Anybody else doing this? Hey, this is Carrie with Canary Quilts, and this is a little compilation video. I'm doing Boo Crew and I'm doing the Midnight Moon quilt along in the same video. We got our first 2 blocks in the mystery quilt for Boo Crew, and we got a bonus block for our Midnight Moon quilt along. So I'm doing both in this video. And these are free patterns that are put out. This is by Fat Quarter Shop, and they also have the kit of fabrics that you can get to make this mystery quilt, which I have the links down below. This is the Midnight Moon quilt along, which I have links down below. This is a bonus block and it is free with April Rosenthal. So if you have fabrics you want to make this block, I have the link down below for that. But I also have the link for the entire quilt that we're making and for the fabrics that we're using in this quilt. So check my links down below if you're interested in anything you see here. But we're just going to walk through putting these together, and look forward to next week too. We'll have this done by the end of July. There's going to be 4 different weeks of block reveals for this. And this isn't a very big quilt. It's like 36 inches square. It's not going to be very big. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get started. So to get started on our Boo Crew quilt along, I have already cut all my fabrics. It's fairly simple because they're all squares or rectangles. The thing that I used, and oh, is that where my, nope, okay, I'm missing my Q. It looks like there's 2 there, but anyway, the one thing that's really nice, especially for a lot of pieces like this, are these little alpha bitties, and I got this in a sew sampler in December. So mine have like a Christmas theme to them, but it allows you to basically label all your pieces so that you can find them a lot easier, or you don't have to rip up, you know, a ton of different little pieces of paper. So in this pattern, they're having you label all of these by these letters. So these little alphabetties come in handy. And like I said, I got it from Fat Quarter Shop. I'll put a link down below. If you want to check it out. They have themed ones or just red or blue and pink ones, I think. And they're not that expensive, and they're very, very handy, especially for a lot of pieces like this, so that you're not like, well, I need that 1.5 by 7.5. Which one of those is the one that I need? So it tells you where it tells you by letter where they're at here in the pattern. And then as we go through the pattern, it's going to tell you which ones you're going to need. Like we're going to start with F and M in the beginning. So it makes it a lot easier. And like I said, I have a link to these alphabetties down below. I have a link to the pattern and the fabrics too, if you're interested, because this is a free quilt, mystery quilt along from Fat Quarter Shop. And I'm really excited to get started. So today we're making a witch's hat and a broom. And they have you cut all the fabrics at once for the hat and the broom. So that makes it real easy to just jump in and start sewing. So let's do that. Let's just jump in and start sewing. Okay, to get started on the hat, we will start with our fabrics F and M. And we have 1 M, we have 4 Fs. But we only need, for this first part, we only need 2 of the F's. And we need to draw a diagonal line on the back, which I've already done. So I'm going to take my M, and we're going to make a flying goose. So we want to make sure that our diagonal goes from the center of our M piece down to the bottom corner. And we are going to sew right along this line, trim 1/4 inch, and then iron towards the background piece. Trim 1/4 inch from the seam. and iron towards the background. And we are going to do the same with the other one, where we layer our F square over top of our M, and then the diagonal is going to cross over our piece over here and then come down to this corner. Sew along the line, trim 1/4 inch from the seam, and iron towards the background. And there's our first flying goose unit. So we'll set that aside for now. And the F we'll put aside. The M we are done with, so I'll stick that back in here. Next we need I and L. There's L and there's I. So we have one L. And we're going to need just one of our I's. And since I only have one L, I'm going to put that little alphabet away. And we need to draw a diagonal line. Got my diagonal line drawn, and we're going to put it in the upper right hand corner of our L piece. And we're going to sew again on this line, cut 1/4 inch away from the seam, and iron towards the background. And there's that piece. So I believe it's going to be going like this. This is the top of the hat, this is the center, and yep, that's what we're doing next. Assemble the flying geese unit, the partial top hat unit, and the fabric G rectangle. So we need to put these two together just like this. We'll flip it over, line it up end to end, and sew 1/4 inch. And now we are going to iron towards the top of the hat. This is exciting, putting together a witch's hat. And we need a G. Where is my G? There it is. I only have one of those, so that alphabet can go away. Looks like I need to give that a little bit of an iron. And this is going to go right here on this side. And we're going to sew this on and iron it towards the background strip. Just like that. Now we've got the top part of our hat assembled. And that was really quick. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab another I, and we just need one, and a K. Here's our K. We're going to draw our diagonal. Hi, Snibbies. There's my K, there's my I with the diagonal, and we're going to put this one on the left hand side, and we're going to sew along there, trim 1/4 from the seam, and iron towards the black K piece. Don't iron towards the background, iron towards the K piece. Trim. And now we are going to add this to that. So let's put these together. No seams to match. We're going to sew 1/4 inch and we are ironing towards the bottom of the hat. There we go. Now we're going to take fabric D. There's only one of these, and this is going to go on this side. And we're going to iron towards the strip. So line up this on the right side. Sew and iron towards the strip. And next we will grab our J piece, which is right here, and our F. Draw a diagonal line. And this is going to go on the right hand side of J. Keep our F labeled. It's going to go on the right hand side. We are going to sew along the line, trim 1/4 inch from the seam, and this one we're also going to iron towards the black. So iron this one towards the black. Now we can take our R and see how easy it is just to find these pieces since they've got these little alphabetties on them. Take our R and we're going to put this on the bottom of this piece and we're going to iron towards this white strip. And now we are ready to assemble this block. So we've got this here, that's our hat, and then we're going to take our C's. We're going to need 2 of them. Our C's are going to go on either side here. And then our N is going to go down here. So first thing we got to do is put these together. And we are going to iron towards the bottom of the hat. Now we can add our C's to either side and we will be ironing our C's. We will be ironing towards the C piece on the side, this purple strip. Okay, we can iron these towards that strip. Look at this hat come together. It's so exciting. Is anybody else doing this one? Let me know in the comments below if you're doing this sew along, mystery sew along. They're also doing a cross stitch one also. I don't do cross stitch, but some of you might be interested in cross stitch. It's a mystery cross stitch along. I don't know if that's what they call it, but that's what I'm calling it. Okay, there is our hat. Last thing we do is take our black piece here and put it along the bottom. And this is going to be ironed towards the hat, so away from this black strip. Okay, we need to iron away from this strip. Let's set our seam. And this is probably a little harder, but there's probably a reason why we're doing this. Since it's a mystery quilt, we don't know what's going up next to it. And there's our hat. I love it. I love our hat. It's so cute. Look at it. It's so cute. There. All right. Now we're on to the broom. We'll set this aside. And we'll go on to the broom. So we're going to take our O fabric and our B fabric. There's one O and there's two B's. And we're going to be using all of those to make this broom handle. So we're just going to put them together. Pretty simple. Put it together like this and iron towards the purple color. And we'll have a broom handle. Okay, there's my second strip on for the broom handle, and I'm going to iron towards that strip. And I did the same thing on the other side. There's our broom handle. So let's get that set aside. So now we're going to take our fabric I and our fabric Q, which I lost my Q, so I've used a Christmas tree. So we're going to only use one Q at this point. So I'm going to put this back on, so I know what it is. We need 2 of fabric I and we need to mark a diagonal. I've got my fabric Q. I've got my 2 I's with the diagonals marked, and we are going to put one in the upper left-hand corner, and we're going to put one in the lower left-hand corner. I'm going to do both at the same time. They don't overlap, so that's fine. We're going to trim 1/4 inch from the seam, and then we are going to iron towards our stripe. So now we're going to take this unit and our 2 H's and our H's, oh, and our S. We need our S. So our S is going to go on the bottom here, and then our H's will go on either side. So let's get our S put onto the bottom of the unit we just made. And we're going to iron this towards the S unit, or this white. iron towards the white strip. And now we're going to add our purple units to each side. There, I got my 2 purple units on, and we are ironing towards that purple strip. Okay, next, our fabric I and P. Ooh, that's a big one. We get to work with the big one. So we need to take the last 2 I's and draw a diagonal. And we will take our eye pieces with the diagonal drawn and put it in the top left corner, and we're going to put one in the bottom left corner. Let me get those pinned. We're going to sew on that diagonal. And we also are going to take our F, the last F we have, we're going to draw a diagonal on that. And that is going to go in the upper right hand corner. So we are going to sew, I'm going to sew all of these 3 on. You can do them separately, but I'm sewing all 3 on. Trim 1/4 of an inch from the seam. All of these are going to be ironed towards the black, just like we did on the last one. So I'm going to get these sewn up. Okay, so next we are going to take our Q rectangle and our E. We're going to put these 2 together and we're going to iron towards the purple background. So now that we've made this, we're going to add it to this. We're going to put them together like this, and we are going to iron towards this strip. Not the big block, but the small strip. So at this point my battery died and I didn't realize it till I got my block done. That was the last piece we needed to complete our broom, so then it's just putting the 4 pieces together in order and ironing them towards the top and that center section. So now we have our broom done. So my 2 blocks are done. That's so exciting. It looks like this is going to be one edge. This is 29.5 inches, so this may be like one edge of the quilt with a border. And then we've got our witch's hat. It just turned out so cute. I love it. I can't wait till next week to start the next round of blocks, mystery blocks. So if you're new here, this is a free pattern by Fat Quarter Shop. They do offer a kit of these fabrics. I've got a link down below for you if you're interested. If you haven't seen this, you can follow along with me. And we will get this cute little quilt done by the end of this month. So, yay! Exciting! Let me know in the comments if you're doing this. I've gotten a lot of comments on my Instagram of people doing this, so it's going to be fun to see everybody getting their blocks done. Okay, for our Moda Midnight Moon Quilt Along, we have a bonus block this past weekend, and by April Rosenthal. and it's free, and it's called Cute Candy Corn. And I haven't put one together, but it looks pretty simple to put together. So I've got my cuts. I've got my 3 cuts here for the center of the candy corn with the white and the 2 oranges. Then I've got 2 gray strips for the top and the bottom. And then these outside pieces right here are cut from this template. And when I cut mine, I only cut 1 template out. You get 2, 1 for each side. I just flipped it and cut it out. So that's how I did that. And then this is going to be to cut our candy corn out of this piece. So what we need to do first is we need to sew all these strips together, and we will iron those open. So we can get started on that. We'll start with these center strips. Okay, I've got my center strips all sewn together and all my seams are ironed open. So make sure that the way you have yours oriented is the white is on the top, because that's the top of your candy corn. So we're going to take our template and we'll center it and line it up with the bottom here. I'm going to pin mine in place. And then we're going to cut it out of with the template. And cut these little notches out. I'm just going to trim the bottom here. So there we've got our center candy corn. Now all we have to do is put our sides on. So pick a side, any side, and line it up. Start down here. See how these notches fall with each other. Oh, yep. So these top notch, that top notch that we did will hit the corner there. And then we're going to sew this, and I'm going to press mine towards this outer gray corner. There it is. I'm going to press it out. And then let's add this other side. And it looks like the corner right here ends up at the top where these two meet. So get this sewn and iron towards the corner. There we go. We got our cute little candy corn block. Super easy to put together. I saw someone who said they wanted to make a whole quilt out of these. I don't know if I would do that, but I might make a few more of these because I think it's super cute. So that's the bonus block for the Midnight Moon Quilt Along. This is in between week 12 and week 13. So you can hit subscribe down below for the channel and hit the notification bell. And so you can get notified when we start back up on week 13. And I have put I put the pattern and the fabrics for this quilt along down below also if you are interested in starting it, because it's not too late to start it. And this bonus block is free from April Rosenthal. You can go download it there and put it together yourself. So thank you very much for watching this video. Happy Halloween!